Hey, welcome back. Josh Hardy here with Hardy Brothers Outdoors. Thanks for joining us. Today we wanted to go through a couple of the new products that Jason and I are using in 2020. So I'm going to kick things off. I'll hand it over to him here in just a little bit, see if we can beat this rain. But there's really three things that I'm going to talk about today that are new in my bag as we're out doing bow hunting and then soon to be gun hunting here in Southeast Ohio. So the key things that I have got this year are a new set of binoculars, and I went out and picked up a set of the Diamondback Vortex binoculars. These are 10 by 42, and an amazing difference in my optics that I had been using in the past. I had a cheap pair for a very long time, not near the size. These are a little bit bulkier than what I had before. But eyesight's going in low light, things like that. These things are amazing. So I've had the opportunity to watch some doe so far this year. Haven't seen any bucks yet, but really happy with the Vortex Diamondback. I found with the size of them, I didn't like them bouncing around on a long neck lanyard, so I picked up the binocular harness by Vortex. Now, the one thing that wasn't with these that I expected to be included was the rings that were needed to clip in. So I happen to be wearing it right now. It's just a shoulder harness, goes in. Then I've actually added some hooks, basically keychain hooks, so that I can have some mobility so they move around a little bit more freely. And I haven't fully adjusted this down, but it fits pretty good. Works nice. Now what I was thinking is I'm going to be out hunting soon with my 8-year-old son Dylan, and this approach may not work, so I have to look at the straps that I had that came with it and see how I can quickly switch back and forth. Or maybe I'll use the good ones and he'll get to use the ones that I had before. Right? We all got to start somewhere. So these are the first two products that I've been really happy to use so far. The next one is a Leupold Rangefinder. I was using for the last 5 years maybe a Nikon rangefinder, and within the first 18 months of owning it I started missing one of the digits, and I couldn't tell. It was like right in the top of the 3, I think, on the tens column, so I couldn't tell if I was at 20 yards or 30 yards. I forget what number it was that was missing, but it was bad enough that I recently sent them back to Nikon, hoping that they would fix them, stand behind the product. And again, I've had them for a while, but they basically sent me back a quote for like $130 some. So I went online, I found this Leupold rangefinder. It's a RX 950. So I think they retail for like $229, and they have them on Amazon. I'll put a link in here. But I was able to get mine on sale at Cabela's, Bass Pro Cabela's, and I think I paid like $169 for it. I had a gift card, so it was even cheaper than that. But pretty happy with it so far. Everything works like you would expect. Just a single button, pick your target, and you can choose yards, or I think it actually displays a few other things, the degree of angle, that sort of thing, all in one click. Whereas my other one had a couple different things. The carrying case it comes in has a nice clip that I can clip into my my harness or onto my my hunting clothes, and it's also got a belt loop. It came with a microfiber cloth. The interesting thing was it's got a place for like an arm strap, so that you don't drop it, and didn't come with one of those, which I thought was kind of strange. But other than that, pretty happy with it so far. Looking forward to using it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jason and let him talk about the new products that he's putting into use this year. And we'll see you next time. Jason.
All right, thanks, Josh. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what is new in my pack for 2020. And I'll start off just by saying I'm not a big gearhead. I don't buy new stuff all the time. So when I buy something new, it's kind of the exception versus the rule. Just as a note, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about how you can share what you're doing new in 2020 and how you can submit that to us to be included in another Hardy Brothers Outdoors video. So if you're interested in appearing on a Hardy Brothers Outdoors video, I'm going to tell you how when I'm done. So first off, what's new? I'm going to jump back real quick to 2019 for this seat cushion. This is something my brother-in-law recommended to me. It's a Hunt Comfort Outpost, and I use it on my Lone Wolf hang-on tree stand. I use an Alpha hang-on, and it's much thicker than the seats that come with it. When you sit on it, it recovers. It's got I want to say it's gel inside. Really, really a good, comfortable seat. It's something I added last year. Again, I don't add things very often. It was something that my brother-in-law Chris told me about, and he didn't lead me wrong. So that's something that I added last year. If you don't have a good, comfortable seat, that's one I recommend. And for what it's worth, you know, this was, I think, less than $50. So what did I add this year? Habitat Podcast had a guest that was talking about hunting mock scrapes. And when I listened to that episode, and it was a recent episode, 94, 95, something like that. So if you don't listen to Habitat Podcast, check it out. It's a great video on mock scrapes. But the guy that was on there was talking about buck fever synthetic lures. And so I ended up ordering a few. I've got 3 of them here. The first one is forehead gland. And you know, this one, I've used it. It comes in a sealed bag. This is a 4-ounce bottle, but this is designed, you spray it on a branch above a mock scrape, and it's something that bucks use to identify each other and recognize who else has been by the scrape. They rub that branch, they chew that branch, and they leave their scent there. So it's a small pump spray bottle, and I'm going to show you real quick. Pump spray bottle, you spray it on the branch, and the idea is other bucks come by and they wonder, you know, who is this buck that's been here. So I picked up some of this. I also picked up the pre and post rut formula. It's like a drip bottle. It's a liquid that you just squeeze a few drops into the scrape. So I made a couple mock scrapes. Again, I've been using it for a couple weeks, so this is not something that I can completely endorse and say, hey, this is great stuff. But I just checked my camera today on one of them, and the bucks are using it. Their bucks are hanging out around it, and you know, so far it's pretty interesting. The interesting thing about the podcast, one of the things he talked about was, you know, this is forehead gland, this is pre and post rut that you're using before the rut. His big tip then was, at the point at which you know the deer in rut and the big buck or the most mature buck in the area is checking that scrape during daylight hours, he recommends going out, hitting it with full rut. And I've not opened this yet. I've not used any of it because we're still early in the season. But you hit that scrape with full rut. He said, hit it and be back there and sit on it all day. He said, if there's a mature buck in the area and he's checking that scrape during the day, he's going to wonder who the new buck is that left scent in that scrape, and he's going to be back. So these were my purchases this year. Other than that, my bag stays pretty much the same year to year. But these are the 3 products that I bought and decided, you know, let's give them a try and see how they work. So I hope that was helpful. If you're looking for something new, you know, I think I have $50 in the 3. So just not a big investment to try something new for the year. So I mentioned talking about how you can share your new product with us and what you're doing new. So it only takes a short video. We're looking for something that's, you know, 30 seconds to a minute long. And if you're using your phone, have somebody hold the phone in this position and record you talking about the new product that you got in 2020, how you're using it, why you're using it, and if you're having success. I know there's a lot of people out there that are looking at, you know, what's the trick that's going to get me a bigger buck this year, or that's going to bring in more deer or more bucks, whatever the case is, what's going to make me successful. So if you've got something to share, would be really interested in seeing it. We're going to put together another video. Hopefully we'll get a lot of feedback and we'll get a lot of videos. We'll string those videos together and share them out on the YouTube channel. So thanks for joining, and I hope you join us again sometime soon. Have a great one.